While there were plenty of impressive performances in the conclusions of both UEFA Champions League semi-finals this week, one man stood out in each match. Tuesday night at the Stade Gerland belonged to Ivica Olic, as the FC Bayern München man struck a perfect hat-trick, netting with both feet and his head to send his side through to their first appearance in the final of Europe's Premier Club competition since 2001. His goals gave Bayern an eye-catching 3-0 win on the night against Olympique Lyonnais and a 4-0 overall victory as the French side struggled to contain the Croatian international. Olic scored his first on 26 minutes after Thomas Müller and Arjen Robben combined well, before striking again midway through the second half following a wonderful reverse pass from Hamid Altintop. And Olic completed his hat-trick 11 minutes later as he headed home Philipp Lahm's cross to become only the second Bayern man to hit a treble in the UEFA Champions League.
Well, the first goal was psychologically the most important one for us and for our opponents. At that point, they had to score 3 goals to qualify, and that's not easy. And then I scored the second and third goals. I'm very happy about it, to have scored 3 goals in a semi-final. It couldn't be any better.
Olic's teammate Arjen Robben said he wanted a meeting in the final with his former Chelsea manager Jose Mourinho, and his wish came true on Wednesday night as the FC Internazionale Milano manager took centre stage during his side's impressive elimination of holders FC Barcelona. Defending a 3-1 first leg lead at the Camp Nou was seen as a tricky task in itself, let alone with a player less for an hour of the game. But that's the scenario Mourinho's Italian champions were presented with following Thiago Motta's 28th minute sending off for raising his hands to Sergio Busquets. However, the man who calls himself the special one showed his tactical strength once again, as Inter limited last year's winners to only a small number of chances. Julio Cesar's brilliant fingertip wide from Lionel Messi's curling effort and Bojan's close-range header wide, the only real moments of concern for Inter, until Gerard Piqué's very well-taken goal with 6 minutes to go. And although that made for a nervous climax for Mourinho's men, they held on to progress by 3 goals to 2 on aggregate after what was a great all-round team effort.
Well, we had a 3-1 advantage. We shouldn't forget that. We had an advantage, and that was reflected in the game today. If it had been 0-0 in Milan, we wouldn't have been defensive at all. But normally, you don't score 3 times against Barca. We came here with a positive result, and Barca attacked from the first minute. Then we had to continue with 10 players. Well, with 10 players against Barcelona, you have to see what happens. We didn't give away many chances to Barcelona.
So there you have it, yet another pulsating week of Champions League football, as the identities of this year's finalists were revealed following some superb individual and team performances. Now attention switches to next month's mouth-watering UEFA Champions League final between FC Bayern München and FC Internazionale Milano, and you'll be able to get all the very latest news ahead of the match, as well as being able to watch the action live right here on UEFA.com.